Hello, welcome. My name is Lisa Martinez, and this is my video demonstration for Project D. Again, my project is a basketball stats manager. It extends from my previous Project C by integrating a hash table that maps each entry's unique integer ID to its current position in the dynamic array, allowing for O of 1 average case lookup. And today I'll be demonstrating the insert, search, remove, collision handling, and yeah. So first, to start the program, when starting the program, it loads all the entries from gamestats.txt and populates the hash table with each entry's ID mapped to its array index. And as you can see here, when we view the entries, we can see all 24 entries are correctly loaded, including the 3 collision entries here at the bottom that I've added with the IDs 112, 114, and 152, as you can see here. As you can see here. Um, Next, when we add a new entry, so let's go ahead and add an entry. Let's say Stephen Curry. Um, let's just come up with one. OKC. Let's say this was just making one up 2026 at the end of March, right? Yeah. Let's just say he scored 24, 3 assists, 1 rebound. Okay. So we can then confirm that it was added, right? Let's see at the bottom. Then we can add this new entry to our favorites list. So it would be number 25, the newest one. And then we can view our favorites and see that it was added here at the bottom. So this confirms that the entry was inserted correctly into the hash table, and it can be resolved with using its ID, right? Because the favorites list uses that, it stores the ID, not the whole entry. And then as you can see, it appeared correctly, so we can confirm that the insert worked. So now, next week, we can observe that searching. So we're going to search. So when let's say we can search by name, and let's search for Pat Spencer. So we have 2 entries here. And when we choose to save all, each popped ID is passed through the hash table to verify its existence and retrieves its current array index before adding them to the favorites list. So you can see that when we save all and go back to main menu, we can look at our favorites list and see that all the entries that we intended to add through the search function were added were resolved correctly through the hash table and inserted into the favorites list. And now we're going to try to observe the collisions using our collision entries. So we can see that our collision entries are these last 3 with the IDs 112, 114, and 152, which should hash to buckets 11, 13, and 51 respectively, which have existing entries already, which actually you can see here, 11, 13, and 51. So these 3 entries at the end of this right here should resolve to those hashes, should hash to those buckets. As I said, they have existing entries already. So when this happens, the 2 entries share the same bucket and are stored as separate nodes in the same chain. So now we're going to go ahead and add one of those entries to our favorites. So we're going to go ahead and add the 22nd entry, which is the one with the ID 112, which should hash to the bucket 11. So we're gonna choose 22, right? It says it was added to favorites, so we can view that and see that it was added here at the bottom. So the entries, as you can see, both entries resolve. So I believe it was this first one, right, with the 11. Yeah, it should be that first one. So that one and the newly added one to the favorites list, you can see that they hashed, or that they both entries resolved correctly despite sharing a bucket, and that confirms the separate chaining method is working to handle the collisions. And next, just to demonstrate, we'll be removing an entry, and we're going to remove one that's also a favorite to demonstrate the that functionality. So I believe number 10 is a favorite. This one right here. I believe it is a favorite if I remember correctly. So we're going to put 10. And yeah, as you said, it says warning. This entry is favorite. Remove anyway. We're going to go ahead and select yes. Entry removed. So now it should have been removed not only from the dynamic array, which we can see that it has, but also it should have been removed from the favorites list. And as you can see, it's not in here anymore. Yeah. So because we're moving from the middle of the array shifts every entry after it down by 1 index, the hash table has to rebuild all the mappings after. And so all remaining favors, as you can see, all remaining favors resolve correctly after the removal, confirming that the syncing of the hash table and the dynamic rate and the link list, the favorites list, are all working correctly. So that wraps up all the hash table operations. Feedback is much appreciated. Thank you for listening.